and urged the police public Diocese of Auchi, led by Bishop Gabriel Dona, Monday evening, demanding a 200 million ransom. According to the source, the kidnappers contacted the Auchi Catholic Diocese on Monday evening and asked them to pay 200 million if they wanted the kidnappers to release the adopted priest. When contacted, Reverend Father Peter Egialewa, Director of Communications of the Catholic Diocese of Auchi, confirmed the demand for the 200 million ransom. Cross River State will be conducting local government council and ward elections this weekend, November 2, 2024. The State Commissioner of Police CP Gregon Austin Grima has assured the peaceful conduct of both elections. Addressing journalists shortly after the state's security meetings presided over by the governor, Senator Basi Otu, Grima assured citizens that the environment would be conducive for all to exercise their franchise. Grima, who was posted out of Kaduna State and replaced by another CP Opara, but reinstated after a week, added that all relevant security agencies in the state have fully deployed their resources to guarantee the safety of citizens and maintain law and order during the elections. He urged the electorate to embrace the prevailing peaceful atmosphere in the state and come out to vote on election day, while the command's public relations officer, SP Irene Ubo, said there have been several engagements with stakeholders to ensure the elections runs peacefully. Imo State Police Command has arrested a 17-year-old lady addressed as Jessie Chidiebere, a student of Imo State University who faked her kidnapping and death. A press statement by Public Relations Officer of the Command, ASP Henry Okoye, informed that arrest was effected by the OG Police Divisional Headquarters on October 26, 2024, after receiving a distress call from concerned citizens reporting a missing. The situation reportedly caused public unrest as a family and university communities were thrown into panic. According to the statement, a message sent from her WhatsApp account claimed she had been adopted and killed, urging her family to go to the OG police station for confirmation. Okoje also said, in response to the distress call, police operatives launched a search and discovered the following morning that Chidiebere was alive and has fabricated a story as a prank on social media. The police spokesperson further informed that the investigation is ongoing to ascertain her motives for such mischief and assured she would certainly face prosecution. While the Commissioner of Police, Imo State Command CP Aboki Danjuma, in his recent reaction to the development, expressed concern over the act, describing it as irresponsible behavior which wasted valuable resources and caused public panic, and urged the parents to caution their children against engaging in dangerous prank and spreading misinformation, stressing that the command remains committed to combating misinformation and to ensure a safe environment for all and sundry in the state. All Progressives Congress in Osun State has suspended former Minister of Interior Ogbeni Rafu Rebasola over alleged anti-party activities. In a revelation submitted to the APC National Secretariat and addressed to National Chairman Dr. Umar Danjuma Granduje, the Osun APC accused Arebosola of creating divisions within the party by establishing a splinter factions. The state party chapter said the move had undermined cohesion and unity, especially during the critical period in Osun politics, adding that Arebosola's actions have fueled internal divisions. Arebosola Kambi is yet to respond to the development. National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Abdullahi Ganduje, has inaugurated a 305-member National Campaign Council for the November 16 governorship election in Ondo State. The council is headed by the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, with KB State Governor Nasser Idris as Deputy Chairman 1 and Cross River State Governor Basi Otu as Deputy Chairman 2, while former Deputy Senate President Ovia Moagege is the Secretary of the Council. Speaking at the inauguration at the Domea Kore, Ganduje said the party was poised to claim all the 6 states of the zone, adding that Southwest would soon be controlled totally by the ruling APC, and the party would empower its members to triumph in the Ondo governorship poll. He hyped on the need for the National Campaign Council to synergize with the Ondo State Council to achieve the aim of winning the Ondo election. Ondo State Governor and candidates of the party in the election, Lucky Ayedatua, said the inauguration of the Campaign Council was a big boost and a huge addition to the winning resolve of the party in the November election. Ogun State High Court sitting in Abeokuta has dismissed a suit by 16 political parties in the state seeking the postpone the proposed local government election scheduled for November 16th. The presiding judge, Justice T. Okunsokan, while delivering judgment on Action Allies and 15 Ores v. OGSI EC and APNO, rejected the claims of the political parties that the Ogun State Independent Electoral Commission has acted unilaterally and directly by fixing the date of the local government election without first consulting the political parties. Justice T. Okunsokan unequivocally held that there was no provision in the Constitution or the relevant electoral laws that required the electoral umpire to consult political parties before fixing the date of elections. Adding that, the court also found that the claims of the parties that Ondo State governorship election would be held on the same day as Ogun local government elections is not a legitimate reason for asking the court to compel the Electoral Commission to postpone the election in the state. The court hereby maintained the status quo and on the earlier announced date for the Ogun State local government elections slotted for 16th November 2024. 34-year-old man identified as Shegun Adebite was found being dead at the construction site near Wishtech factory on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. The state police spokesperson Omolola Odutola, who confirmed on Tuesday, said the incident was reported to the Sagamu division of the command by the Adedeji Adebola. According to her, Adebola reported that the local security guard attached to the construction site, identified as Hassan, informed him that a violent altercation took place between the deceased and some unidentified persons. And following the report, detectives quickly arrived at the locations where they found Shegun's body lying in a pool of blood with multiple machete wounds on his body. Odutola said the blood-stained machete was recovered at the scene and the corpse was evacuated and deposited at the Lifewell morgue for autopsy, adding that the security guard has fled the scene, likely for safety, and that an inquiry into the murder had begun. Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has again said that he did not become a minister to sell lands in Abuja. Wike said the only reason he became a minister in All Progressives Congress government was to support the administration of Bola Tinubu. The minister said this during a flag-off of the construction of the 15.4-kilometer Pai Gomai road project in Kwali Area Council on Tuesday. Abuja correspondent Moses Joseph reports.
Agriculture is fundamental to the sustenance of life and bedrock of economic development, especially in the provision of adequate food for human development. But one of the factors that brings about high cost of food is bad road network. It is to this that the Honorable Minister of FCT, Barrister Yenson Wuke, is desirable to provide quality infrastructure in the rural areas for easy transportation of food items by the farmers to help provide sufficient food for Nigerians. At the flag-off ceremony of Pai Gwamani 15.4-kilometer road construction in Kwali Area Council, Wike attributes the need to develop rural areas by making the people feel the impact of government and renewing their hope.
While they are coming from the express road, they call that A2 to Pai. Now, they abandoned to award our contract and started from Pai to Gomani. Now, if you do Pai to Gomani, how do you come to Pai when that A2 is not working? How will those people feel that you are passing the area that's no road, and then you are coming to an area that, how will they feel? Why should Nigeria complain about food? Look at land. Why should we import food? But why would we not have problem of food when there's no road? Even if our farmers have access, assuming they go on the track road to the farm and they produce food, how would they bring it to the city without road? Now that they have road, would they bring their food out?
The minister emphasized that his aim as Minister of FCT is not to put Abuja lands to market for sale, but to foster development through infrastructure, making the city presentable to an international standard.
Anna Tinubu did not make me minister to come and sell land here. I did not become a minister to come and sell land. I took the position to support Mr. President to improve the infrastructure of FCT. And that is why every day our concern is infrastructure, 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 and infrastructure. This opportunity given to Robert, Mr. President, will not really let go like that. We say Mr. President did not make mistake. Particularly when people opposed vehemently for becoming Minister of FCT. I thank the President for giving this opportunity to show them the way, to show them the difference. And we are showing them the difference. If you didn't dare, you didn't dare.
Joseph Moses Mawinka, Atlantic Television Network News, Abuja.
Troops of the 6th Brigade Nigerian Army, Jalingo in Taraba State, boss a kidnapped syndicate and arrested 3 suspects in the targeted operation to curb criminal activities in the state. A statement by the Acting Assistant Director, 6th Brigade Army Public Relations, Captain Olubudude Oni, said the troop from the 6th Division Brigade has Sector 3 operations well struck during the operation successfully dismantled the notorious kidnapping syndicates that had been terrorizing Jalingo and Aluo local government areas. According to the statement to journalists in Jalingo on Tuesday, the troop acting on credible intelligence phase apprehended two suspects Ali D and Hazana Huma on October 22, 2024 during a raid on a hotel in the Mayo Dasa area of Jalingo, and after a search of their mobile phones uncovered indiscriminating evidence, including a photograph of Hazana holding an AK-47 rifle alongside an unidentified accomplice. The statement quoted the commander of the 6th Brigadier General Kingsley Uwa has lauded the people of Taraba State for their ongoing support and stressed the military's commitment to combating terrorism in the country. Kano State Police Command has made a significant breakthrough in its first fight thuggery after arresting the notorious thugs identified as Inuwa Zakari, also known as Gondura, alongside 14 other suspected criminals. The command spokesperson SP Abdullah Hauna, who confirmed the arrest via a press statement in Kano State, the suspect was wanted for terrorizing the motor police and also identified as the assassins who attacked a villagers group commander, inflicting life-threatening injuries and damaging the police vehicles. The arrests were made during clearance operation conducted between 25 and 27 October 2024, following directive from the State Commissioner of Police Solomon Dagogo Dagba to launch aggressive action against thuggery. These suspects are currently undergoing investigations at the Command's Criminal Investigation Department, and upon completion will be charged in court to face the full extent of the law, while the Commissioner of Police expressed appreciation for the public's continued support and cooperation and urged everyone to report suspicious activities to the nearest police station. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has approved new minimum wage of 71,000 naira for civil servants in the state. A statement posted on his Facebook page, Yusuf said the decision is in line with his administration's commitment to social justice and the improvement of living standard of workers. The governor said the new minimum wage, which will take effect from November, would increase the state monthly salary obligations by 6 billion naira at the state level and 7 billion naira for the local government councils rather. You are watching the transition on Atlantic Television Network. Return after this break.
The people of Maiduguri need your help. A catastrophic flood has engulfed the city, leaving over 1 million residents stranded and fighting for survival. Entire communities are submerged, with people trapped inside homes and on rooftops cut off from food, clean drinking water and essential supplies. Health experts are warning of a potential outbreak of deadly diseases, and medical facilities are out of commission. The situation is dire. Helicopters, boats and high-riding trucks capable of navigating the treacherous, waterlogged areas are urgently required to reach the countless men, women and children still awaiting rescue. The Nigerian media is issuing a desperate plea to the government, humanitarian organizations, international actors and citizens across the nation. Step in now, before it's too late. For more information on how you can help, contact Professor Usman A. Tar, the Honorable Commissioner for Information and Internal Security, Borno State, on 0809-233-3955. Every second counts.
This is powered by Atlantic Television Network.
Welcome back. This is a transition on Atlantic Television Network, and now the rest of our stories. President Bola Tinubu has launched the 2025 Armed Forces Remembrance Day Embalmed and Appeal Fund. He performed a brief ceremony at the council chambers of the State House on Tuesday, where he seized the opportunities to commend the armed forces for their roles as the first line of defense in protecting the country. The president specifically highlighted the roles played by the military in combating all threats to national security, adding that it will be impossible to promote peace and development without security, and commended the patriotic commitment of the armed forces to Nigerians' unity, stability, as well as progress to remain invaluable. In appreciation of the efforts of the fallen heroes to national security, the Security Secretary to the government of the Federation, George Akume, pledged a donation of 500 million naira on behalf of the government officials, while President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, on behalf of the National Assembly, made a donation of 200 million naira. Also, the Chief Defense of Staff, the CDS, Christopher Musa, announced a donation of 50 million naira on behalf of the Service Chief and the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun. Senate has postponed the screening of President Bola Tinubu's new ministerial nominees to enable the nominees to conclude all aspects of documentation and pre-screening exercise. The screening exercise was initially scheduled to hold on Tuesday, but the Red Chamber of the National Assembly said the exercise had now been shifted to Wednesday. As follows: the President nominated Bianca Odumeju Ojoko as the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, while Netawe Yewatda was designated as the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction, officially bringing an end to the tenure of a suspended Beta Edu. Others nominated by the president were Maigari Dingaidi as the Minister of Labor and Employment, Jumoke Oduwale as the Minister of Industry, Idi Maiha as Minister of a newly created Livestock Development Ministry, Yusufata as the Minister of State, Housing and Human Development, and Suwaiba Ahmed as Minister of State Education. In response to the ongoing insurgency disrupting power supply in northern Nigeria, Deputy Senate President Baru Jibrin has confirmed that security agencies are preparing to take decisive actions against insurgents hindering the repair of critical power lines. This initiative follows reports from the transmission company of Nigeria about widespread outrage affecting the northeast, northwest, and part of north central of Nigeria due to vandalism of transmission lines, particularly the Shiroro-Kaduna line. This is coming after Nafistu Ali, Executive Director and Independent System Operators, had said the Shiroro-Kaduna transmission line, which supply power to northern Nigeria, was vandalized by the insurgents. Correspondents wrote to me, Adeyumi reports that Deputy Senate President on the floor of the Senate on Tuesday said the Office of the National Security Advisor is on top of the matter.
The Senate is concerned about the lack of electricity supply in the northern part of this country. This is happening due to the fact that the electricity tower coming from within the area that electricity is taken to the northern part of the country was vandalized by terrorists, and it has become a problem for the TCN staff to get to where this occurred, to get it restored, because that area is being occupied by terrorists. Now, what has been done is, what is being done now is that the security agencies are putting their hands together to get to that spot and try to eradicate or take away the threat that is being there for quite a while.
Bill for an Act to amend the Banks and Others Financial Institutions Act 2020 to make provision for the protection of victims of fraudulent withdrawal from account and for related matters has held second reading in the House of Representatives. Sponsor of the bill, Honorable Moses Fayinka, while speaking during plenary, said the proposed legislation aimed to stop illegal fund transactions where monies are moved from the customer's account without the authorization of the customer for such transaction to take place. Honorable Fayinka said the bill would pass also stop banks from the cover-up of such syndicates without reporting such action to the receiving banks and the police for necessary actions, adding that the objectives of the bill include both the paying and receiving banks to get the culprit and prosecuted and to pay all necessary bills in the course of the recovery processes and to make a refund back to the victim's accounts without charges.
There is an alarming rise of bank fraud or unauthorized withdrawal of deposit funds in Nigeria. In the banking industry, about 101,801 cases was reported in 2022 and 48,703 cases reported in 2023.
The plenary.
Thank you, sir.
Any other petition? Chado. I represent
Signed by Mr.
Parliament from Ghana. The plenary.
Thank you, sir.
Chado. Represent
The initiative, if well harnessed, would add to the nation's GDP in agriculture. The military, consisting of 3 services, Army, Navy, Air Force, will provide the expertise required to carry out any national engagement seamlessly. These services also have a relative advantage from the land resources and teeming number of retired and ever-willing, not tired members to involve in the agro ventures within their geopolitical environment.
The House passed the bill without debate after voice vote and was referred to Committee on Defense, Agriculture and Food Security. Chairman, House of Representatives Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethnic and Values, Olusola Fatoba, says the new skills and vocation introduced into schools curricula will be federal government to enhance practical skills and employability. Fatoba urged parents and school children to embrace the new development in the curriculum of primary and junior secondary schools, said the initiative is a testament to the fact that President Bola Tinubu has the interests of Nigerian students at heart. The lawmakers representing Ekiti Central Federal Constituency 1, who spoke in the chat with journalists in Ado Ekiti on Tuesday, called for the inclusion of the historical programs in the curriculum for the pupils to know that they are past and to be able to project into the future. Members were harnessed, locked up. Fatoba said that the updated curriculum designed for primary and junior secondary school students, whose implementation would begin in January 2025, aimed to equip Nigerian students with modern skills like digital literacy, robotic, and various vocationals and entrepreneurship opportunities. Adding that the new curriculum targets making students self-reliant, competitive, and aligned with global standard, said the government's plans to finalize preparation over the next 2 to 3 months to ensure both private and public schools are ready. The acting executive secretary of the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council, Dr. Margaret Lawin, said altogether there are about 15 different trades newly introduced or skills for basic education. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, has promised that the 10th House will prioritize university autonomy for the better performances. Abbas, who disclosed this, pledged at the public hearing on 5 bills seeking to establish federal universities of solid mineral development, Manchika Adamawa, in Abuja on Tuesday, and represented by Rep. Esosa Yawa, members representing Oro Federal Constituency in Edo, and speakers said the bill were also considering establishment of 4 other universities across the country. According to the speaker, the lawmakers were not oblivious of the reservations by many Nigerians about establishing new universities, particularly because some of the existing ones were underperforming and did not meet global academic standards, adding that the legislature must also respond to the growing population, which has resulted in thousands of qualified young Nigerians being unable to gain university admission. 2023 Labour Party LP presidential candidate Peter Obi says it's insensitive for anyone to demand a new aircraft for Vice President Kashim Shettima following the recent incident in the United States. The Speaker of the Borno State House of Assembly, Abdul Karim Lawan, has claimed that Shettima's life is at risk due to faulty presidential aircraft he is using to represent President Bola Tinubu in official engagements across the globe. Reacting, Obi said the Speaker was unconcerned about the prevailing economic hardship confronting Nigerians, adding that the national electricity grid has so far collapsed 8 times this year alone and 150 times in the last 10 years, plunging small businesses into great losses and households into darkness. Analysts have blamed the federal government for failure to pay workers' salaries from the Ministry of Finance and instructed by the presidency. Speaking on Atlantic Television Network program Society Watch, a public affairs analyst Ike Ochukwu said it's gross misconduct for the Ministry of Finance for not complying with the directive from the president to pay salaries of non-academic staff.
You are asking why was this guy paid and I was not paid, and in the process, from what they said, there was an agreement or an order from the government, from the presidency, that okay, since perhaps standing on, since these other guys has been paid, pay these guys their salary.
There was an agreement
from October last year. Then the Minister of Finance is. I'm wondering, like they also raised there, how can the president give an instruction, the Minister of Finance or Minister of Finance, and appointee of the president, Rene Jonit? Is there something wrong somewhere?
Ike Ochukwu also the government to avoid the danger of academic risks in institutions across the country.
It's not enough to tell these guys that we paid. Was there a follow-up of a memo, a document or something sent to the Ministry of Finance that okay, pay off these people I mean, instead of even discussing with this guy now, it is the government that should feel embarrassed that I gave another arm of government refused to implement it. They should call themselves in and ask them, because this issue of strike, for crying out loud, is because
this comes as universities across the country, especially those owned by the federal government, were yesterday shut down by non-academic staff under the aegis of Senior Staff Association of Nigerian Universities and the Non-Academic Staff Union of Educational and Allied Institutions. The action follows a decision of the national leaders of the two unions to call their members out on indefinite industrial action following the alleged failure of the government to pay them for 4 months of their salaries withheld during the 2022 strike by university workers. And now to business reports. 19 state governors in the northern region have registered their strong displeasure on the recent tax reform bills the federal government submitted to the National Assembly for approval. The governors particularly rejected a proposed shift to the derivation-based models for value-added tax distribution, adding that the proposed models would be at the disadvantages of the northern states and other less industrial regions. The governor, under the auspice of the northern state governors forum, voiced their strong opposition in the communique issued after a strategic meeting in the Kaduna, which was raised by the chairman of the forum and Gombe State Governor Mohammed Yahaya. The meeting included northern traditional rulers, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and other key stakeholders, and the latest developments amid multiple debates surrounding resources control and distribution of value-added tax revenue among states, where Sharia law is practiced prohibits the sale of alcohol beverage but still receive a charge of VAT collected from the alcohol sale. However, in the new tax reform bill, the Taiwo Oyedele-led panels proposed the amendment of the distribution formula to the derivation-based models, and while disapproving this policy, the governor said the VAT is currently remitted based on the location of the company headquarters rather than where goods and services are consumed, stressing that the measures will negatively affect the distribution revenue from the Federal Account Allocation Committee. Head of the country's oil regulator said Ghana is planning to buy petroleum products from Nigeria's Dangote Petroleum Refinery since the facility has a full capacity and will reduce more expensive exports from Europe. Authority Ghana Mustafa Abdullah Ahmed said this would end monthly fuel imports from Europe of $400 million and spoke at the OTL Africa Downstream Oil Conference in Lagos. The $20 million Lekki-based Dangote refinery commenced the release of petroleum motor spirits, popularly called petrol, into the Nigerian market on September 15, 2024. And despite the development, marketers of the products in Nigeria have since commenced the importation of PMS in hundreds of millions of liters, following the total degradation of the downstream oil sector in Nigeria by the federal government. However, the Ghanaian Petroleum Authority officials said these countries might start importing fuel from the Nigerian refinery, while the Dangote refinery, built by Nigerian billionaire Aliko Dangote, is expected to operate at near full capacity at the end. Those believe it will be fully operational in the first quarter of federal government. Federal government, through the Nigerian downstream and midstream and downstream petroleum authorities, has issued license for the 9 modular refineries. Chief Executive Farouk Ahmed, who disclosed this at the 2024 Oil Training and Logistics African Downstream Energy Week in Lagos, said the license were issued under President Bola Tinubu's administration in the past year. According to him, Nigeria's refining capacity has been increasing under the current administration, especially with the Dangote refinery coming on stream. He stressed that under the current administration and the ministers in charge of the oil and gas sectors, Nigeria is poised to actualize a target of 3 million barrels per day of crude oil production and the projected 10 billion standard cubic feet of day for domestic utilization, and will also boost its proposed domestic refining Nigeria becoming a next exporter of petroleum products. Speaking further, Ahmed urged stakeholders for a comprehensive domestic price for liquefied petroleum gas to make the products more accessible and affordable for consumers nationwide, adding that in the attempt to make cooking gas affordable, the agencies has been engaging stakeholders on domesticating LPG produced in countries by producers like Chevron, Nigeria Limited, and Mobile Producing Nigeria Limited, the Nigerian LNG, and others. Still ahead, international tidbits. Lebanese Health Ministry says at least 60 people have been killed in an Israeli attack on Lebanon's eastern Bekaa Valley, and 2 children were killed in strike which targeted 16 areas in the Baalbek region. 68 people were wounded while rescue efforts were still underway in the valley, which is a Hezbollah stronghold, and the Israeli military has not made comments. Israel has carried out thousands of airstrikes across Lebanon over the past 5 weeks, targeting what is said Hezbollah's operative infrastructure and weapons. Governor Bachi Kadar called the attacks the most violent in the area since Israel escalated the conflict against Hezbollah last month. An unverified video posted on social media showing damage to buildings and forests ablaze as rescuers search for the injured. The UNESCO spokesperson said the analysis of the satellite image had not revealed any damage within the perimeter of the inscribed site of Baalbek. Hezbollah has declared the Group Deputy Secretary General as the new head, and Nam Kwazam replaced long-term leader Hassan Nasrallah, who was killed in Israel's strike in Beirut last week. He is one of the few senior Hezbollah leaders who remain alive after Israel killed most of the group leadership in the series of attacks. And the appointment comes as the conflict in Lebanon intensifies. Why for more than 30 years, Nassam Kwazem was Hezbollah's Deputy Secretary General and one of the group's most his whereabouts are unclear. However, some reports suggest that he fled